Hello. Thank you for watching. Oh, my knee. Here are my thoughts on the most recent, my table's sticky, most recent Kent Hovind debate that I have watched. I don't know if it's the most recent debate he has done, it's the most recent one I've watched. And this one was fairly recent. I mean, sometimes I've made these videos commenting on the debates that were before he went to jail and they're 10, 15, maybe 20 years old. This one was done this year. And it's easy to remember the name of the person he debated against because the guy has a, I'm sure his birth certificate doesn't say Emperor Atheist. But that's the name he went by in the debate, probably the name of a YouTube channel. Well, Kent Hovind slaughtered, metaphorically of course, slaughtered Emperor Atheist in this debate. I'll put a link in the description of my video. Kent talked about actual evidence of what happened. The Emperor Atheist just did a bunch of name calling. Pseudoscience, 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 stupid, pseudoscience. Kent was a little bit off on one thing. When God talks about 3 heavens in the New Testament, he's talking about 3 different places that people are going to end up after final judgment. And they're real places out there among the stars, and God knows where they are, but God hasn't told us in our most current astronomical lingo, or hasn't named which star it's at for us. But that's what God's talking about when he talks about the 3rd heaven, Kent Hovind. That's one example of why I don't believe everything Kent says. An example of why Kent isn't right about his theology, because he does not believe all that God has revealed. One example of evidence that Kent pointed to was clams on Mount Everest. And if you don't believe there are clams on Mount Everest, the Burgess Shale, which is in the tops of the Rocky Mountains, is still something in the top of a mountain that is fossils that, you know, proves a worldwide flood, proves everything being covered. The Emperor Atheist was eager to point out the claim, but he never explained or proved anything beyond name-calling. If you're, you know, Kent Hovind won the debate for the adults. The Amazing Atheist won the 2nd grade playground argument. Your mommy is ugly. You're stupid. Oh, I won. No. Name-calling isn't winning an argument. Isn't proving anything. But even if Kent's theory about how the things we read in the Bible was proven wrong, that would not prove the Bible wrong. There could be another way it could have happened. Kent might be wrong about how it happened, but that's not the only explanation out there. The Emperor Atheist at one point said, Kent Hovind's talking about atheism being, evolutionism being taught in schools. I never said that, but I do want it taught in schools. There you go. It's, the Emperor Atheist seemed to not have a high intellectual level, or at least didn't show it on this one. So maybe Kent didn't quote him, but people like him want evolution taught in science classrooms, even though there's no proof of it. And then the guy went out and said, yeah, but I do want it. Well, that was Kent's point. The Emperor Atheist talked as if size is what makes things float. Size is not what decides whether things float or not. And now he was saying that if there was a worldwide flood, the little things should float up to the top, and so they would be at the top layer and the big things at the bottom layer. Really? Size has absolutely nothing to do with whether things float. There are some very big ships near here. I am less than 10 miles away from some docks where ocean-worthy vessels load and unload things. Those ships are a lot bigger than a lot of things that would sink if I threw them in the water. That camera you're looking at, I'm not going to waste my money destroying a camera that's not waterproof, but it's a lot smaller than the ships out there, and it would not float. Its density is what makes things float and not float. In closing, when the Emperor Atheist was making his closing statement, he was complaining about how he didn't have time to talk about certain things. He would have had a lot of time to talk about a lot more stuff if he would have cut the silly, childish name-calling and actually talked about evidence. Sometimes Kent talks about evidence, and the Amazing Atheist used his favorite word, pseudoscience. No, fossils, something that's in the ground, is not pseudoscience. It's there. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.